This speed test is sponsored by NordPass. Here it is, guys, the speed test between the 512GB version of the iPhone 11 Pro Max and the 512GB version of the Galaxy S20 Ultra. This is the top tier of both of these flagship devices. Let's go ahead and jump right into the speed test. First things first, we need to make sure neither phone has any apps open in the background, and they don't, so we are good to go. If you guys like the fact that I dove right into the test instead of doing an introduction, let me know by dropping a like on the video. And make sure you stay until the end of the video because I'm going to be showing you guys how to force the S20 Ultra to never close up to 5 applications of your choice. But don't worry, to keep this fair, I did not enable that feature for this test. If I did, you would have seen the applications open in my recent apps window. So the way this test works is I'm going to be opening 30 apps on both devices to see which phone can open the apps the fastest. Then I'm going to be going backwards through the apps to see which phone can keep the most apps open in RAM. I'll also be interacting with each app once it's open to prevent the phones from thinking an app was opened accidentally and subsequently closing the app. I won't be comparing the speed of those interactions because the menus and buttons are different between the devices. At the top, you'll see a counter to show which phone is opening apps faster. This video is filmed at 60 frames per second, and I'll be watching the replay frame by frame to determine which phone completely finished loading the applications first. If the phones open apps within about an eighth to a quarter of a second of each other, neither phone will get a point because that could just be the time difference between me pressing one screen versus the other. Now the reason I call this a real world speed test is because I'm opening apps that you'll actually use on a day-to-day basis. In many other speed tests, people are opening more than 5 games at a time, they're transcoding video files and doing a bunch of things that you'll never actually do during a normal day. Now, don't get me wrong, those tests are still valuable to see how the devices perform at their limits, but they aren't the best example of how these phones are going to perform on a day-to-day basis. So that's what this test is for, and I hope it paints a pretty clear picture of how these devices will perform for the average person. And I know that fair tests are extremely important to you guys, so if you check in the description, you'll see a full list of everything I did to make this as fair of a test as possible. And I highly recommend that you guys check that out because I did a lot of different things. As we go through this test, you're going to notice that a few of the apps are going to open to different locations on each phone. That's not something I can change, it's just how the apps open on the different operating systems. So take those results with a grain of salt, because the faster phone will be the one that opens to the location that you personally want it to open to. Alright, now we start the RAM test. Same deal here, there's a tally at the top to keep track of which phone has to reload the most apps. Obviously, the lower the number, the better. And in case you guys are wondering, this is playing back in real time to give you guys a good idea of how fast these phones are. Based on my previous speed tests, I'm anticipating that both of these phones will keep most, if not all, of these applications open in RAM. Right there, it looked like the iPhone 11 Pro Max was about to reload Redbox, but that's actually just how the iPhone minimizes the Redbox application. So I've had a chance to look at the replay frame by frame and add the scores into the video. As you can see, both of the phones open apps incredibly fast. You know what else happens fast? Losing all the money in your bank account because some hacker figured out your super simple password. If you guys value the money in your bank account or your online security in general, check out the app from today's sponsor, NordPass, a password management app that helps you create robust passwords for all of your accounts. The best part? You only need to remember one master password, and NordPass will autofill your login details for you. And NordPass stores an encrypted version of your passwords on their servers that can only be decrypted on your device with your master password. So even in the worst case of NordPass getting hacked, your passwords are still safe. If you guys want to save 50% off a 2-year subscription and get 1 month free, go to nordpass.com/Techisode by clicking the link in the description or the pinned comment, or use coupon code Techisode at checkout. Alright, as you can see, these phones are incredibly close in terms of real-world performance. While the iPhone opened the Bible app and Asphalt 9 noticeably faster than the S20 Ultra, the S20 Ultra opened Zillow and Movies Anywhere noticeably faster than the iPhone. And in terms of RAM management, both of these phones performed excellently with only 1 reload for the iPhone and just 2 reloads for the S20 Ultra. So the takeaway is this. The speed of these phones should not be a consideration when choosing between an iPhone 11 Pro Max and an S20 Ultra, because both of them will be incredibly fast for day-to-day use. Instead, you should focus on the features offered by each phone. And if you need help discovering those features, check out the other videos on my channel because I dive pretty deep into what each of these phones are capable of. Now it's time for me to show you guys how to enable Beast Mode on the Galaxy S20 Ultra. All you have to do is go to your recent apps, tap the app icon, then tap Keep Open for quick launching. You can do this with up to 5 applications, and those applications will stay loaded in RAM no matter what. So if you come back to this hours later, you're still going to be able to pick back up right where you left off. There is one more speed boosting feature I want to show you guys really quick, and that is in the settings. So we're going to back out, go to settings, then you're going to scroll down to advanced, and you're going to tap reduce animations. And this is going to reduce the animations for opening and closing applications. So now if I open Mario Run, it's just going to pop right open and it won't do that growing animation that it normally does. If you guys want to see more in-depth coverage of the Galaxy S20 Ultra, make sure you click the notification bell next to the subscribe icon down below, because if you don't, you won't be notified of any new uploads, even if you're subscribed. Thanks for watching, guys. That's it for this Techisode. God bless, and I'll catch you in the next one.